A trip down Unity Alley and a meal at McCrady's Tavern is an experience shared by some of history's most important people. One began centuries ago by a man named Edward McCrady.
He was listed as a barber, a venter, a breeder and racer of horses.
But restaurant manager and history buff Michael Hennessy says it was his tavern that McCrady was known for, which served Charleston's most notable citizens until the British took the city in 1780.
Cornwallis decides that he is going to arrest several prominent Charlestonians under the threat of treason because he didn't want an uprising in Charleston.
McCrady was one of them, held in the provost's dungeon and later sent to a prison in St. Augustine.
The claim by Cornwallis that treason was taking place was never substantiated.
And when he returned, it was back to business.
In 1788, he mortgaged off his home again and bought several properties surrounding his current tavern in order to build McCrady's Long Room, which is where we are now.
The Long Room would be the largest space in the city, hosting events and shows, but one event would stand alone.
And we had the fortunate pleasure of hosting George Washington in 1791 on May 4th, as his personal journal states, a sumptuous feast.
It was the social occasion of the decade in Charleston.
Would have been decorated with laurel and flowers. A choir would have sang during the dinner, and there were several toasts and speeches that followed the banquet, followed by a barrage from the Charleston artillery.
Since then, the building served as host to many companies. It was even marked for demolition until the history was uncovered, the legacy preserved. Many walls and floors withstood the test of time, but it's the name and a story they hope will last for centuries to come.